Coach, have you ever gone into a season where you thought you had a starting rotation or a weekend rotation, and it turns out to be something this different at this point?
Well, I've done this a long time, so there has been situations that has come up. It has been a little bit kind of on the fly a little bit, trying to find some solutions. Cade did a good job today of going 5 innings. We just haven't had guys go late in games, and that's been a troublesome for our bullpen. And I'm happy the way Cade pitched today. Zarbniski, who's going to go tomorrow, threw well last week, so we're hoping for a good outing for him tomorrow. But we just need someone to solidify that Friday start and get us deep in the game with some quality pitches.
How have you felt like the staff has responded to that? Because obviously guys are jumping around. You're moving them into new positions, new tasks.
Well, I think it's been a little bit. There's been a little bit of confusion because we haven't set roles for them, and I really believe in having roles for guys, and I think that's kind of caused some of this. They've caused some of it, and probably we've caused some of it because we just haven't solidified on roles. And I think they're doing the best they can, but I expect a lot out of them, and we haven't hit stride yet as a pitching staff. We see spurts of it, but we haven't seen a lot of consistency. I think over the last week to 2 weeks, I think things have gotten a little bit better, but it's not to the level that my expectations are.
Have you had a two-way guy like a Zarbniski where you've had to start, and what different challenges does that give you in how you handle him?
Well, I actually have 4 guys like that.
Really?
4 pitchers that are two-way guys, and it bodes some challenges. You have to be pretty locked in and in tune to a lot of different things because you're trying to learn both sides of it. Really challenging for freshmen that do that. I think as you get older in your career, it becomes a little bit easier. But I've had some guys, and they're usually the better players on the team and the better athletes, and we have 4 of them, so we try to, it's hard to get their work in on the mound at practice and then also as a position player too. So they've got to get a lot of quality work in a short amount of time.
And finally, the way that you approach and that you teach, how much of a change was that from what the staff had been under previous coaching? Was that much of an adjustment for them?
I don't know if it was much of an adjustment. I still think that as we head into the middle of April, I still don't think that the system is completely in of what the expectations are and how I like things to be done on a daily basis. We just had a little meeting actually today about some of my things, some of my pet peeves that I think allows you to be good. That's doing more the right than wrong. And I told them is that when they walk away from the game one day, I don't necessarily care if I've taught them much about pitching and mechanics and all that, but I want them to teach them how to do things right because I think that leads to success in not just baseball, but in things in life.
And finally, one other thing that BJ mentioned last night, he said, obviously he's changed his mechanics, his approach, everything a lot. Is that a risk to do that in the middle of the season, or do you see and he sees some things where you say, wow, I think this can really work?
Well, I think BJ's got a good IQ for baseball. He'll end up being a good coach when he leaves here and his career's over with, whenever that ends. There were some things that we just wasn't getting outs like he's had in the past, and he was pretty open. And you got to be able to be a pretty good team guy. He was pretty open to change, and I think he's adapted to that well. And his last 2 outings have been spectacular. I mean, we hadn't seen that at the start of the year, and I really kudos to him for making a change in your senior year to help the team, to help himself, but more importantly, help the team.